This is Thank You Mama, weekly lessons from mothers all around the world. Hello and welcome to Thank You Mama. My name is Anna Teider and my guest today is Ivona Brandić. Ivona is a university professor for high-performance computing systems at the Vienna University of Technology. And she has been awarded many prizes for her research and her career. Welcome, Ivona. Hi.
Hey, Anna. Hello. Thank you for the invitation.
I'm so excited that you're here, and I can't wait to hear about high-performance computing systems.
Okay.
But Ivona, first, let's share with our listeners what just happened, because I think that will make many women and I would say people, but women listen to this, make them feel good. So Ivona and I were trying to connect. We're trying to connect on Skype, and it took us like 10 minutes. And Ivona is like, I don't have permissions. I don't know what to do. I'm like, wait, you're the professor for high-performance computing systems. You're asking me what to do.
I fixed it. Eventually, we fixed it. And we are now speaking to each other and we are recording this podcast. But I think this is something that everyone, that can happen to everyone, no matter what you are doing.
Exactly.
And there are so many platforms. There are so many apps. There are so many tools that you can use, and you cannot know all of them.
I just want to mention it because I know we often feel frustrated about ourselves and technology, and I think it would make everybody, exactly, it will make everybody feel good that even you have problems with it.
Happens to everyone, all the time.
Okay, Ivona, so please tell me about it. What does it really mean? What kind of research do you do, and what does it mean?
Okay, you really want to know what is high-performance computing? Okay, Anna.
If you can...
Well, I will try to explain it in a way. So you will record this podcast and probably, or I'm sure you will upload it to some servers or cloud platforms in order to distribute it, and many people can hear it. And my research is focused on development of the technologies and methods and tools and languages to facilitate efficient usage of such systems. And I basically focus on cloud computing, which is the state-of-the-art technology to manage and to run such systems.
How did you get into it?
Well, it was, I would say, coincidence.
Well, like all the best things in life.
Like all the best things in life. Actually, I never thought that I would study computer science or that I will develop a career in science and technology. But I came in early 90s to Austria as a 14 years old girl. We just escaped from the Bosnian War at that time. And I had to repeat a class here in Austria because I didn't speak German at that time.
Ivona, I really want to stress this. So you came to Austria, a war refugee, and you started school here without speaking a word of German.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yes. And at that time, I didn't have any other option. And I just had to repeat the class. It was the eighth grade. I think, it was the 8th grade. And I had to make a decision. I simply didn't know what to do. I knew at that time I have no chances if I go to the ordinary high school, where you have all those languages. At that time, I didn't speak English. So, and I figured out that in Austria, there is also a kind of a technical school. It's a kind of high school with very technical background. And I decided, well, let's try because I have nothing to lose. And at that time, I knew that my talents are actually in technical stuff. I knew that. I attended in Bosnia courses for model building and for physics and so on. I even attended a course on programming. I had no idea what it is. I learned nothing because the course was held by nerds and geeks, and I didn't understand nothing. But I thought, I'm an expert somehow on that, but I wasn't at the time.
So did you speak German at that time? Did you learn German?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I learned it in school, but I was far away from knowing it at a certain level to follow all the classes that you have. I spoke a little bit, but not. Yeah, I wasn't very, very good in that. And that was also the reason why I selected the technical school. I thought, maybe I can get away with German in English in that school, which was a bit wrong assumption. But I don't know why and how that happened, but from the beginning on, I had really excellent marks in that school in all technical subjects like mathematics, descriptive geometry, fundamentals of electrical engineering, whatever, because I didn't have to speak that much. Because in all those subjects, we use some form of a formal language, like mathematics or geometry, right? I didn't have to speak that much. And I was really excellent in all those subjects. And, from day to day, since I also was much more confident, I learned German as well. And I really had excellent teachers. I had really excellent teachers in German and in English.
Wow.
Yes.
So you graduated from this technical high school, and then you went on to the technical university in Vienna.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And that's where you took off. And then you did your PhD at the University in Vienna, and then you did your postdoc in Sydney, in Australia.
Well, I had a postdoc position at the Vienna University of Technology, but having that position means that you do a lot of research visits. So I was technically in Vienna, but I had many research visits, and I experienced so much during that time, traveling to other countries, working with other universities, developing my network of collaborators, learning new methodologies, learning about new systems. I had a lot of research visits in Australia, in US. I was even in South Korea. But technically, I was in Vienna.
Ivona, I want to ask you, the podcast, as you know, is about mother's lessons, but I want to hear from your experience of, leaving your country behind in the middle of the war and moving to a new country, not speaking a language at the age of 14, where it's very difficult. You're a teenager. It's difficult being 14 in at your home, let alone experiencing something like this. So I really, really believe that you have quite an experience and quite some lessons to share from yourself before we go to Mama Manda's lessons.
I think one of the most important lessons was for me to try new things, because at that time I literally didn't have nothing to lose. I came here, I didn't speak language. My parents, although they were really super supportive, they didn't expect nothing, really. They were happy with whatever I was doing because the situation was so difficult.
Yes.
We had such a difficult time. I came here with my mom and my brother, and at the beginning we actually didn't know whether my dad is dead or alive. So it was really, really difficult time for us. I mean, we got away with some scars on our souls, in my close family, but in my extended family, we had very, very difficult time, and many people get injured. My uncle was injured. My grandma was in prison because she didn't left time, and so really tragedies. What I learned is you have maybe there are some times in your life where you simply don't have other options but just to try new things. And if you fail, you fail. And that's it, right? And that's actually what I did. And this is sometimes also the only way how you can progress in your life.
Yeah, just daring, having the courage to try something new. Oh, that's beautiful. Is there anything else that's important to you, or should we jump into talking about Mama?
Well, I think this is one of the most important lessons. Yeah, maybe another thing of what I think is also important is people are sometimes very shy because they don't have certain skills or they don't speak certain language. I think this can really close many paths in your life. So you should just trust to your skills and to your abilities and what you know. And even if you are not super skilled in certain language or in certain field, it can turn to be a certain benefit as well.
Thank you for
because
that one.
Because you bring new insight, new views, and so on.
That's a good reminder for me. Thank you. Let's talk about Mama Manda. Tell me about her. So she is originally from Bosnia.
Yes. My mom is originally from Bosnia. She was born in Bosnia, like I was born in Bosnia. And I think, looking back now, she's now in her 60s, 60-something, that she had a very, very exciting and fulfilled life. And I think the life was also full of ups and downs. But I think that he really learned how to cope with whatever your life brings and with all the problems that you might face with. And she's also a very versatile woman and can very quickly adapt to different situations in life. And she has also so many different interests, so many different spare time activities. She is, I don't know, today or even during the lockdown, she's on her bicycle doing errands, she's hiking, she's homeschooling my daughter today.
How lucky for you, Ivona.
Yeah. So, and I mean, throughout her life, she developed different careers. As a young girl and woman, she was an athlete. She was doing gymnastics, and she was very successful. And she did also national competitions. And I think it was also a very important part of her life where she also developed certain lifestyle, being active. And I think this is, it gives you a certain attitude, a certain behavior in your life, how you treat your body, how you treat your soul, right? But, the gymnastics was, and she was active in her teens, I would say, at some age, like 19. You are too old to do that.
Like in ballet, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Then she studied mechanical engineering.
Oh, and that's where it's coming from.
Absolutely, yes. And she was very successful as mechanical engineer, working in a factory, and she was, I think in that factory they produced engines and parts of the engines, and she was developing and designing production processes for the engines. And after that, when we came to Austria, she didn't manage to get back into her profession, but nevertheless, she developed another career.
Oh, wow. How old was she when the war broke out?
She was, I think, 38 or something. 9, yeah.
And she couldn't go back to her work because of the language, I'm guessing. Or
Yeah, she didn't speak language, and I think she simply didn't have time to adapt. You need time. You need time. You need to learn language. You have to get connections here and establish a network with companies and so on. She simply didn't have time. She simply had also to put food on the table, with me and my brother. And literally, she started a new career washing the dishes.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, really. And
Wow.
even in that career, she really developed. She developed her career. She changed then to a school canteen, working with children, and she had really nice colleagues. And she, at the end, before getting retired, she was even shift leader, and she really was happy at the end in her third career.
Wow, that's quite a career change.
Yes. And it was really challenging for her because, she was here with two small children. She didn't know whether the husband is dead or alive. She didn't know what to do. And at some point, I can still remember the time. She was, I think, for the first 2 or 3 months, just in shock. Yeah. She was shocked.
Of course.
Not able to do anything.
Oh, God. What did you move? Did the Austrian government help you somehow? Did you move into some kind of a refugee camp, or how did you? What happens when you leave a country and move to a different country? You leave everything you have behind you, and you move to a new country with two children.
Well, my dad, he had friends here, and before we left Bosnia, he gave us this piece of paper with the address and the phone number, and he told us, please go to this man, and he's going to help you. And I think he sent us a piece of paper. We were, I think, at that time for a few days in Croatia, in Zagreb, and we got this piece of paper. And then with that piece of paper, we were able to enter the border, and we were not transferred to the refugee camp. We were allowed to go to someone else. Well, we had friends here that helped us in the first months and years.
That's amazing.
And we had really, really... we were lucky. When I think back, we were really lucky to have this immense support in the beginning. We had a small apartment at the beginning, and we didn't have to go to the refugee camp. And when I think back, I mean, we came from Bosnia to Austria, and we didn't have the Mediterranean Sea in between, you know?
Yeah.
Today, things are different. We took a bus, and we came from Bosnia to Zagreb, and from Zagreb. It was difficult, but nothing comparable with what people are experiencing today.
It's hard. I think people can't imagine what people go through. You can't even, if you haven't been there, you can't even imagine what it means.
No, you absolutely cannot imagine how it feels. And I really think it's nothing compared to what people experience today.
Yep. But let's go back to Mama Manda. So she came to a foreign country with two children, left her country in a war, and left a big career in mechanical engineering and started washing dishes and turned that into a new career. I find it amazing that she managed to be happy in this new thing, because that's quite a big change.
I think she managed somehow because all the colleagues appreciated her very, very much. So she was really appreciated as a hard worker. And she had friends at work. And I think that makes many things easier, you know? Yeah. That makes many, many things easier when the work that you are doing is appreciated and the people are friendly and, you know, you are at the right place. And
you're taken care of and appreciated.
Yeah.
Ivona, you know what's interesting? This is the third time we haven't been speaking so long, but it's the third time you're mentioning other people's help. And I just want to highlight that and how important that is, because you were first talking about your professors at your high school when you didn't speak German, and it was hard for you, but you said the professors were really amazing, and that helped you to go through it and finish and turn this into such a brilliant career. And then we spoke about your mom and being a refugee in a country and people helping you and helping her. And now the third time is people at work supporting her and creating a friendly environment. That's beautiful. I just want to highlight how important we are as people, how we can make a change in somebody's life, a difference.
Absolutely. And I also think if you focus on good things in your life, then I also think that good things will happen in your life.
Oh, now you jumped into one of Mama's lessons, didn't you?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Let's jump into Mama Magda's lesson. But I just want to finish talking about her. She's now retired and happy. She's biking and hiking, taking care of your daughter or helping with your daughter. Is she happy right now?
I think yes.
Great.
I think she's very happy as a grandma, and she's cooking and she's knitting, and
that's beautiful.
I think she enjoys being retired and with her granddaughter. And the times are difficult now with lockdown. I think it's something that no one expected to have, but even so, I think she's happy now.
Let's learn from her.
Okay. One lesson that I really learned from my mom is not to be afraid to take a career in science and engineering, because my mom is a living example that you can have as a woman a career in science and engineering. And I think while many girls and women are afraid to take a career path in science and engineering, is because they think they have to compromise their female side and, I don't know, be more masculine to blend into the environment. And my mom didn't. I can remember my mom when I was visiting her very often in her office in this big factory, and half of the people were females and half of the people were males, and the females wore beautiful dresses, they wore high heels and had nice hairs, and I mean it was in the 80s. So what I learned is also you can express yourself, you can be a female, you can be as you like, you can wear high heels all the time and work in engineering and science. The one thing has nothing to do with the other. And that's maybe or probably one of the major reasons why I'm today where I am, because I was never afraid to take that path.
What an original lesson. We never had that yet.
No, well, actually, we at computer science, we have a very, very low percentage of females here in Austria. And we try to find the reasons why are girls not interested in computer science, why they don't study computer science. Well, the reason is not that they are not interested and they don't like it. They are simply just afraid, because everything what we know about and the picture that they have in their mind is masculine, is male, connotated with a male behavior. And many of them are just not, I say just not take it as an option in their lives, because it doesn't seem to be attractive. And I think this is a big issue and a problem, because we need female computer scientists. We have half of the world population is female, and we need female computer science. Otherwise, the software will be designed for male users and exclude, all others.
That's why you ladies are out there to change it.
Yes, that's why we are here.
Any other lessons you'd like to share?
Yeah, what I also definitely learned from my mom is the value of hard work, and that it pays always. And never underestimate the value and the impact of hard work. And that's what I see every day. And I worked actually my whole life since age of 14. I always had some job to get my own money. I mean, don't understand me wrong. My parents, they really gave me everything what I wanted. They bought me my first computer when I was 16. We didn't have nothing. We didn't have the table in our kitchen. We didn't have nothing. But they bought me my computer because it was important and I wanted to learn coding and so on. But I was very careful what I'm asking from them.
What did you work as when you were young, when you were 14? What kind of jobs would you do?
I did ironing big piles of clothes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I did a lot of neighborhood jobs, just connecting. And it helped me a lot to learn German at the beginning, to be honest. I just connected with our neighbors, asked if they need some help, and usually they were very, very generous to me. And for me, in this school that I attended, it was a boarding school, so the kids were from all over Austria. And for me, it was at the beginning impossible to learn German because of so many different accents that you have in Austria. So it was so difficult at the beginning. But the ladies from the neighborhood, they spoke this kind of Schönbrunner Deutsch, this very nice type of Austrian German, and I learned it. I think they were definitely one of the reasons why I learned German, in addition to my teachers. Yeah. And then after that, I had other jobs. I worked, I cannot remember, I installed electrical switchboards in big bakery in Austria. So every time when I eat Krapfen, Krapfen is
donuts.
Austrian donut, I always think it's made by my hands, because I install these big switchboards for the electricity. After that, I had many other jobs. I worked as software engineer, as a software developer, as tutor. Later on, during my study of computer science. But yes, definitely, I always had my own money, and this is, I think, so important because you learn the value of money.
Ivona, let's talk about life plans. I love that lesson.
About life plans, what I have learned from my mom, it is, I think, very, very important to have life plans because you think about making plans. I think it makes something with you, but you should not stick to it because if you strictly follow all your plans, you might miss so many opportunities. I never had a career as a scientist on my plan, never. But I got opportunity. I was asked by my PhD supervisor, future PhD supervisor, okay, would you like to do a PhD? And he had a really interesting topic. So, and okay, why not? Why not? It was not on my, but I did it. And yeah, it turned out in a scientific career. And I'm very happy about that. And, so many things can happen in your life, and, it can turn out to completely another path. So you have to reschedule your plans.
Yeah. So, but it's interesting how her experiencing the war and escaping the country and creating a new life really resulted in that lesson. And this is such a big lesson. And I love the contradiction in the lesson of you make plans, but don't necessarily stick to them, but be open to other things. Let's talk about the good things. You already started talking about this lesson. This is also an important one.
Well, there are so many other lessons I learned from my mom. And among others, I learned how to cook. And I also learned how to cook when I'm on budget, because also this is important and sometimes a really lifesaver. And to be honest, learning that, you learn completely other skills as well. What do you do when you cook? You have certain ingredients, you have certain amount of time, you have certain budget, and you have to do something. And that's actually what we do all day in our life, our job. We have to make a schedule, we have to arrange our time, we have to arrange our resources. It's the basic form of project planning. And it relates so much to computer science. You cannot imagine that. That's what I'm doing today all the time. I have resources, I have computers, I have networks. We have applications that we have to deploy, and applications have to run on computers. So what I'm doing, I'm developing algorithms that schedule resources, that optimize energy consumption. It's basically a very similar form to cooking.
I love it.
And yeah, but in computer science, the recipes are a bit more complex, and we use formal languages to formalize it. But there is quite a lot similarities if you are preparing, I don't know, a cake or some kind of pasta, to if you are engineering and manufacturing an airplane. You have to follow certain steps. You have certain tasks. Tasks create output, which are input to another task, and that's what actually computer science do. Computer scientists do. We formalize such processes and algorithms. We define languages, how humans and machine can understand such processes, formally verified, and so on, optimize it.
And all of that on a budget.
Yeah, all of that on a budget. You are always running out of budget. You are always running out of time. And I think I was a computer scientist before I even realized that I'm a computer scientist. Yeah.
I love it how mom's budget cooking taught you stuff that you need in computer science.
Absolutely.
Ivona, we had one last lesson, which is about focusing on good things.
This came also through our conversation today, but what I also think that it's important in life, bad things happen. Yeah, it happens, right? But what you can do is you can focus on good things. And this, I think, approach makes also something with you, how you perceive your environment, how you act, and how your environment perceives you. I can explain it scientifically as well. There is Murphy's Law that says in a complex system, everything that can go wrong will go wrong, right? So there are now very controversial discussions in science, whether this is true or whether this is a nonsense. What I think one interpretation of such a law can be, if you focus on bad things, you will see bad things, right? You don't notice the good things. So it can be interpreted also in an opposite way. If you focus on good things, you perceive it, they make more impact to you, you celebrate it, and you can maybe blend bad things and they don't affect you that much. So this is maybe also one of the possible approaches in a life, how to deal with bad things. There might be people that will say, well, okay, this is completely opposite to critical thinking. It might be, but if this is the way to help you through difficult times in your life, why not?
How did she teach you that?
She lived that way, actually. She lived that way, right? She helped other people. She was friendly to other people. She, I think she was also friendly and nice to me and letting me all the freedom that I wanted in my life without any pressure, without any expectations, and was really so happy about every of my successes. She really celebrated, and she was so happy when I finished my school, and she didn't even dream that I will finish faculty and computer science, but she was also always so supportive and helpful. And the one thing is when everyone expects you to do that way, I think then you experience a lot of pressure, and then you are maybe trying to be a rebel and trying to act in another way, and that's what usually teenagers do and young adults do. But if you have this freedom and you know they are not expecting you that, and they are so happy about every of the successes, then you want to do even more.
That's beautiful. I have to remember this as a parent.
Yeah, I think I hope I will act the same way. I mean, it's easy to say. It's easy to say nowadays, but I also try to remember that all the time. So with my daughter.
Ivona, is there anything she was not able to teach you? Something that you had to learn yourself?
What I learned myself is how to relax, because my mom has a very unique way to relax. She's doing something, she is cooking, she is, I don't know,
always busy.
Jogging. She's always busy. What people also, I think, wrongly interpret that someone cannot relax at all. But I think it's her own way of relaxing. It's not my way. I really need days off. I need days off. I also, as a scientist, you need days off just to calm down, to process, to digest. Sometimes you are even more productive when you take a day off and come back, and then you have so many new ideas. So I try to practice having a kind of day off and to relax in my own way. And I think it's very important to figure out what is your way to relax, to recharge, to I also try to celebrate every single success in my life. I think this is so important, no matter how small it is. It can be an accepted paper. It can be a submitted project proposal. It can be a baby that just, I don't know, finished spinach and spread it all over the kitchen. It can be really something small, but you have to, say to yourself, oh, wow, I did it. And it's a success, and celebrate in an appropriate way. And I think this is very important. What I also have is a folder with emails, very, very positive emails, where, I don't know, a student thank me or say thank you because the lecture was great, or when you receive some award, or when your project proposal is accepted, or when you receive a great review for a paper. And I keep all those positive reviews, emails in a folder, and I open it on a really bad day.
I love that.
Everything goes wrong, and you just want to go to bed. That's such a terrible day. So you open that folder and you read one email after other, and then the day ends in a bit different way. Everyone has ups and downs in life, and the good things, it helps you to go through rough days.
Yeah.
At least for me, it works.
Yeah.
Wow,
Ivona, thank you so much. This was so fun.
Thank you, Anna, for the invitation. Yes. I also enjoyed.
It's really fun. Let's recap Mama Manda's lessons. So I have the value of hard work, and then I have the lesson that being a woman in technology does not mean you have to compromise your feminine side. I wrote next to that, mom as a role model. I think it's very important that we are reminded that we role model to our children. She really showed you that. To make life plans, but be open to them changing. To focus on good things and do good things, and then good things will happen to you. And the importance of being able to cook a wonderful big meal on a small budget. I love it how you connected that to computer science.
Important.
And then something she was not able to teach you, because, as you said, we all have different ways to relax, is how to relax. But you did find your way.
Yes, I did.
Ivona, thank you again so much for being my guest.
Thank you, Anna.
If you enjoy Thank You Mama and want to help it grow, please take the 2 seconds to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps. If you'd like to get in touch, you can send me a mail at info@thankyoumama.net. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter under Anna Teider. That's Tajder. This was Thank You Mama. Come back next week, subscribe, and tell your friends.